All right, Vintage Mustang Forum. I'm looking for open advice. So, the 67 Fastback is painted. It's got new parts ready to go in it. And so that is my main restoration project. But then the opportunity to get this 69 Sportsroof came up and I didn't want to pass it up. And so the goal with this one is I would love to get it on the road, even if it barely drove, just to have it as a drivable vehicle, of which down the road would begin restoration. So right now it's not about doing it right. It's about just getting it running. And there's some stuff I want to do right. But for the most part, I just want to get it running. So it came with these floors just sitting in place. So my thought is like these, I will actually prep and put the floors in properly. It also came with this rear taillight panel. And as I looked back here, it actually has a new gas tank, but things were pretty rusty back in this area. So I ended up just buying all four, and down here, trunk pieces. So I'll probably do the taillight and do all that trunk stuff. And that's the major, floor and structural rust areas. But things like this quarter panel extension, the bottom's broken off, I don't care, right? I can drive like that for a while. But things. Actually, one thing is I know that the Fastbacks and the coupes had different windows. I was trying to determine if this window is just improperly adjusted. I think it's improperly adjusted. And that if I tipped it back, this would actually be the correct window. But I've never had a 69 or 70. I've only had 67s and 8s. So a lot of this is new to me. This is not the original door, but it is off of a Fastback car. So I'm assuming that's the glass that came with it. Don't know. It does have a 70 front end on it right now. I guess they said that at one point it had a fiberglass one-piece front end, and then they threw on these 70 parts just to complete it back with metal. But I have slews of extra parts and stuff. Some of the stuff I don't even know what it is. Like, I'll have to come back later at some point. I don't know what that is. Figure that out. This is my suspension. Actually, there's window stuff in here. I don't know why that got in there. Suspension components that I probably won't use. That's just my guess. Though here's a cross member that'll probably be needed. A singular header. There's the door I took off just for access sake and the other fender. But, in here I've got a caliper, I got window stuff, wiper motor and stuff, trunk hinges. I have a pile of hood hinges, 2 with springs, 2 withouts, support, the braces for the engine compartment, cross members. So some of the stuff I know. So it does have actually this whole power steering setup, and it was a factory power steering car. I've got the Marty report. But it also has the power steering pump and stuff that's in it, though there's no steering box here. So I probably need that steering box and just kind of mess around with stuff to see if it works. I believe it's got the holes. I believe it was a power disc brake car. It does have disc brakes. And over yonder, the dash. So here's piles of parts. There's a bunch of new parts. Got a bunch of new parts in packaging. I've got the normal stuff. I got the Mach 1 piece over there. Folding rear seat stuff was all there. All the Fastback panels are all there. A couple got some cracks. The non-scoop hood, right? More springs I haven't moved over yet. But yeah, so it has the power disc pedal. And I believe this is the factory dash piece that came out of the car. One thing I know I'm going to have to figure out, there's my steering column, is, this instrument gauge, this could be an expensive fix. And I'm thinking in the long run, I'll probably just buy something modern or digital. Not digital, but you know what I'm talking about. Dakota gauges and other people that have the, modern technology, but looks like a vintage gauge. That's what my preference would be. But for the meantime, I might just find something to get me by, like a GPS speedometer and a couple of just bolt-on aftermarket gauges, something simple. But I'm definitely going to have help identifying some of these parts once I get going. Oh, another one thing that's going to be a pain is the guy just had a windshield that he just stuck in here, a random windshield. So that's not the actual windshield for the car. And I hate that it costs more to ship a windshield than it does to actually purchase one. I'm in Eastern Washington State. There's no, I mean, I can't drive to any of the distributors. No one has a distribution place nearby here. So really, and I think the place that was nearby in Bothell or Bellevue, I think it was Bellevue, had a place in Washington. They closed down their doors just recently. So, yeah, it came with, those are 70 Windsor heads. And then the block is over here, but that crank needs to be polished. He gave me, yeah, the block over here. I got a bucket with connector rods. It looks like this thing was already bored 40 over. And then here's the transmission he gave me, which I happen to have the larger, is it like 164 tooth? The larger flywheel torque converter already available with the correct splines, 26 spline. It's a pan fill C4. This is something I'm gonna have to figure out is, this was obviously a column shift. So I need to figure out if I wanted to do this as a floor shift, how I'm gonna make that work. So that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. But I've got a C4 rebuild kit. I could rebuild that bad boy. Again, I'm trying not to spend a ton of extra money on this project right now. So it's like, what is the fastest way to get it running? In fact, my number one way of probably getting this thing on the road is probably going to be to get this old 289 that was originally in my 67 Mustang and just stick that in there for now. And use that with the C4, go find the appropriate flex plate and make it work. Doesn't have a drive shaft, so I'll have to find a drive shaft, but yeah, open to thoughts, input. We'll slowly start tackling rust down the road. I might try and send my kids in here with grinders and wire brushes and everything else to maybe try and treat the inside of the car, but definitely the body work and the outside stuff will be a longer down the road process. And for now, it's just, again, getting it back on the road so I can enjoy some daylight. And yeah, there's my thoughts. So yeah, I'm just taking open advice and input, not doing it necessarily right, just doing it quick and getting it done.